Email Letter to the United Nations, June 19, 2020. By Anna von Reitz. Dear Antonio Gutteres, and M. Bachelet. In the next few days the municipal government of the United States will cease to be, the corporation holding the legal titles to the state and public trusts, will return to the equitable title holder, the Territorial Government of the United States of America, another corporation which is also in bankruptcy. When that happens and the legal title and equitable come back together, the huge phony Public Charitable Trust and the state trusts will collapse. Our government of the people, by the people, and for the people, is the only legitimate government still standing on the land and soil of this country. Our states have assembled and our people have stood up. We have claimed the trust assets that are rightfully ours and exposed the fraud which has been promoted on our shores in gross breach of trust and breach of contract by the governmental services corporations, and ultimately, by the principals responsible for directing those corporations. The World Bank, the IBRD, Federal Reserve, IMF, BIS, Bank of New York Mellon, J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, Deutsche Bank, Credit Suisse, UBS, Bank of Scotland, Bank of England, and Bank of Canada, as well as the Vatican Bank, Merrill Lynch, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and other major institutions including the DTCC are up to their necks in fraud, collusion, and racketeering activities designed to defraud the American states and people, and many other nations around the world, who have suffered unlawful conversion and impersonation. This email is being sent to you to give you explicit notice of these facts and their impact not only on our country, but most other countries throughout the world. Massive amounts of innocent private assets have been seized upon by these piratical service corporations, which have claimed that all these legacy trusts and special deposits, which have been purposefully held off-ledger and made inaccessible to depositors for decades, have been abandoned, and self-interested lies to the effect that the owners are unknown or missing, lost at sea, have been told in a vain attempt to validate theft by any other name. The aim of all this fraud and graft and manipulation has been to steal the assets of the entire world, undermine all national governments, and attempt to excuse this outrageous criminal scheme. The aim is to establish a new form of feudalism, corporate feudalism, based on the enslavement of every living being and every natural resource on this planet by a few crazed megalomaniacs, who are for the most part bankers and billionaire corporatists, like Bill Gates, who are the scions of the 19th century robber barons. The perpetrators propose to use the United Nations organization as a new storefront, after having been discovered using the Roman Catholic Church for the same purposes for centuries. I hope that this letter finds you well, and has the desired effect of both fully informing and motivating you to 1. Support the lawful government of this country, which is committed to peace, 2. Support the return of the lawful physical assets to the people they belong to, 3. Short-circuit attempts to reduce the United Nations organization to a puppet for evil, instead of an instrument of good. Sincerely, Anna Maria Riesinger, Fiduciary, the United States of America, Unincorporated.